I'm going to show you how to change a nut on a guitar. No, in fact, I'm going to show you how to change 2 nuts on a guitar. It's really cold here today. Got me hat on, right? So, first problem I had is that on the Hamer, as you can see, it kind of looks like it's all the strings have exploded off. What happened was I kind of banged it, and the string bust, and the nut, basically I knocked the nut off. I hit it so hard. So I'm going to look at that later, because I might have to do a little bit more work on to repair that. So I'll show you how to do that. Anyway, so let's put that back, because I'm always knocking my guitars, because, you know. Anyway, so on the bench I have the Les Paul, because I don't know if you can see this or not. If you look at that nut there, you can see I've got loads of like graphite pencil-y stuff in there, right? And the reason why I've got that in there, which I've been doing that for like I don't know, 6 months, 9 months, because I've been putting off the fact that it needs a new nut. I've cleaned it out and stuff, and for some reason my strings still keep jamming in there. And if I don't put loads of graphite in there, they don't go. So I'm assuming we're ready for a new nut. So the thing is, you've got to be careful when you're buying nuts for your guitar, because of the width. Like, I'll show you this. Like, this is a nut, right? What about that way? Hang on, let's do it that way, right? This is a nut. Okay, so and the thing is, with a Gibson Les Paul, the distance between the strings is different than it is, say, like an Epiphone Les Paul. So you have to watch out for that. So generally, anything from the east is usually less space. I mean, you have to check your guitar, you have to check your specs. I'm not going to give out specs here, because otherwise I'll just get loads of comments at the bottom going, hey, you said that wrong. So I don't want to do that, right? I don't want to do that. You need to check that for yourself. But I checked it. The Hamer, basically the spec is exactly the same for PRS or Epiphone, because they're the same in terms of spacing on a nut. Whereas the Gibson, American-made Gibson, a slightly wider nut, or string spacing anyway. So what I did is I didn't scrimp on this. I went to eBay and I bought some Tusq. I don't know if you see that because the sun's shining through my window, because this is real life, guys. You know, they're really slippery. Strings slip through them, and they're supposed to have a great sound. Well, whatever, you know, I'm sure they sound great. Anyway, so I bought one for the Les Paul, and I bought one for the Hamer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you in this video how to do both of them. So stay tuned, because I think you'll find that although changing a nut is pretty straightforward, especially if we've bought pre-cut ones like I have, because, you know, I'm lazy and it's easier, right? So we might encounter some issues along the way. I've watched videos and people change nuts and, like, you know, yeah, just take the nut out, there, clean it, put it back in, everything's cool. It don't work like that in the real world, guys. So let's do this and see if we get a clean install, which I doubt. But anyway, so I'm going to show you how to do it properly if it's a pre-cut one, and we'll go from there and see how it goes. Okay, so we're zoomed in on the nut on the Gibson Les Paul, and as you can see, I got all this pencil kind of graphite in the grooves here, so the strings slip, because I've had trouble with it tuning for a bit, and I just couldn't be bothered to put a new nut on at the time. But now, because the nut's gone on the other guitar, I thought might as well do them both together. So anyway, the first thing you need to do before we tap this off is basically just score around the nut. I kind of already done this, but score around the nut anyway, and you'll see that it's just so that when you release the nut and you tap the nut away, it doesn't take part of the lacquer from the rest of the guitar with it. You know, sometimes it works really well, sometimes it doesn't. But anyway, I kind of done that the best I possibly can. You can't see it here, but like, it's just, there's like lacquer on the side of this, on the side of the nut here, and the side of the nut here. And if you don't make a cut between the lacquer that covers the binding and the lacquer that's on here, it'll just break away. It'll look unsightly. To be honest with you, this is a working guitar. Like all my guitars are working guitars. I don't own a guitar that's worth lots and lots of money. If I did, it'll probably be hanging on a wall or something. But I believe guitars are there to be played, not to be just looked at. So anyway, this is a working guitar. So you know, sometimes it gets dents, it gets scrapes, it gets scratches. No point crying about it. It's a working guitar. So anyway, I've done that. I'm going to score that. Now I've scored that, because I've only got a little space to work in. I need to get my other tools out, so I'm going to stop the video. But just before I do that, just so you can see that, you know, some of the tools that I use. I mean, this is homemade to hold the neck while I'm working on it. Just in case you wonder what this is. I mean, I've been meaning to buy a proper one, but this one seems to work quite fine, so I didn't bother. But anyway, so I'm just going to get my other tools out. I'm going to get something so I can tap this off. I'll show you how to do that. Right, so let's tap this off. There's loads of ways of doing it. If you're working on somebody else's guitar, you know, I suggest you do it on your own guitar first. But if you're working on somebody else's guitar, you know, I do suggest, you know, you perhaps put some tape down and stuff like that, so you don't mark it up. This is my guitar, so I'm not really worried. And you know, I don't go out and buy special tools for stuff if I can find stuff that will do the job for me. Anyway, we need to tap this loose. Hopefully, I've had nuts which are like glued in with, like, you know, at least a ton of super glue, and there's no way they're coming out in one piece. And I'm hoping that this one's going to come out in one piece. Usually on a Gibson Les Paul, and similar they do. Rather, some of the perhaps Asian guitars, they are a little bit more thorough with their glue, and you don't need a lot of glue, so let's hope it's going to come off. Okay, what I could do is I could just tap this with a hammer like this, but I'm not going to do that. Anyway, before I do that, I just wanted to show you something. Obviously, as you can probably no doubt see, I've got the old string still on, and there's a reason for that, and it's a pretty good reason. Anyway, the reason I got the strings on still is because when I put the new nut on, I'm going to put the old strings back, and it'll help it to sit straight, and when I glue it in, it'll keep it nice and straight. Also, I can check while I'm fitting it and adjusting it to make sure it's the right height. I can just double check because the strings are in place. Yeah, they're old strings, but it's fine. That's okay. So let's knock this off. I'm going to use my special little tool. Because it's made of wood, it's got an edge. I just use what I got to hand, you know. So I'm just going to give that a little tap, and very lightly in different places. And I can tell you right now, this is glued in quite well. But there we go, it's gone. Just very, very little taps, just to get it, knock it free, and it comes off. Oh, it's come off really nice and clean. There's a little bit of got a little bit of wood from the guitar. It's not a big deal, but it's nice and clean in there. It's very clean. Okay, I couldn't have asked for better than that, actually. That's going to make my life a lot easier. Okay, so now that's out, I'm looking at the replacement that I'm going to put in. I can see like a moulding mark on there. So before I can actually fit that in to see where we are in terms of height, obviously I'm going to kind of try and get it the same height as the old one to a certain degree, because the old one was about the right height. So I'm just going to try and sand all this down just to get all this the right height. So anyway, so I'm going to move everything out of the way so I can start to work on these, like sand it down a little bit, shape it a little bit. Introducing the straight edge. This is a straight edge that I purchased from a store which sells straight edges. Yeah, any like guitar kind of store, UK, US, wherever, you can just get one of these straight edges. It's a machine straight edge, and all I've got is some sandpaper, which is on the straight edges, so I can sand this little. I don't know if you can see this. It's very annoying. It's got. Let me just get this right. Sorry, it's quite difficult. You can see that. You see it's that dark patch. It's actually like a little nib. I need to get that off. So I'm going to do that without it needs to be flat, so I need to do that. So I'll crack on with that, and when we've done that, we'll fit it in the guitar and see what it looks like. I've taken that little edge off. That slots in perfectly. I can tell you right now, it's way too high by a long way. But yeah, that's to be expected. It's better to be higher than to be lower. We don't want to stick anything underneath it. Let's just put the strings on. Yeah, it's way too. It's like, yeah. If you're playing slide, that's perfect, but you probably can't see. Let's see. Yeah, you can see how high that is. So we're gonna have to do a little bit of sanding with that, and to sand that down, we're gonna use our block, because this is an engineered flat surface, and we're gonna just sand it down until it's the correct height. Lightly moving it backwards and forwards, very lightly. Let the sandpaper do the work until we get the right height. I'm going to measure it up against this, and also keep checking it every so often in the guitar. Just keep constantly checking that height. I reckon I'm about, I don't know, halfway, so I got quite a bit to do, but I'm still going to take it easy, just to make sure that I don't sand it unevenly or anything like that. It should be okay, because I'm using this uses engineer's kind of edge. But yeah, just keep checking. Okay, I'm getting very near now. I'm checking it on the edges, make sure it's flush at the edge as well, to make sure it sits flush in the hole. I had to take off a little bit off the back just so it slotted in properly. All looking good. I got a little bit more to go, not a lot, just a little bit more. So a little bit of fine sanding to finish this off. We're about there. Just a little bit poking out here. There's a little bit poking out here. I'm just going to sand them down a little bit. Get it so it's all sitting flush, and then look at it again. Going to put a little bit of super glue. Too much. Get the nut in, make sure it's where I want it. Then to set everything in place. Put the strings on. They're reasonably tight. They're not up to tension now, but it was when I tested it, but enough to hold the nut in place. Looks okay to me. Tighten it down a bit. Nut is on, all tested, all working great. That's it. A lot of messing about to get it right. Lots of stopping and starting and sanding, checking, keeping it, make sure it's flat, making sure it's not going all wibbly wobbly, all that kind of stuff. But that's it. That's how it works. That's the nut for the Les Paul. Next up is the hammer. This is the hammer. The nut already came off this. So before I get started, I'm gonna have to clean all this up. So I better crack on with cleaning. Looks like, I don't know, some like paper was used to make the nut fit. The nut that I got for this is like massive. The holes are in the right, the slots are in the right place. The nut's a little bit big, but yeah, I'll just whittle it down till we get it to the right size, and put it on. Let's see how that goes anyway. just going to clean this up, get this cleaned up, and then start sanding that down. Yeah, my main concern with this guitar was that this string here was going to pop out because of the angle. Let's see there, because of the angle which it comes off the headstock. So I was a little bit worried about that, but this seems to be okay. So I'm going to continue to sand away until I get to the right height and refit it again. Okay, I'm sort of sanding the edges, the edge here, so when it sits on the guitar it doesn't stick out and stuff. And so I do one side at a time, because I know where I want that string. What I do is I put it in and I keep just sanding it a little bit, put it back, set it up, just to make sure that string and it's flush, and also the string sits over the slot and everything fits right, and I can play it without the string sliding off the fretboard. Obviously you don't want it too far over there, otherwise the string will fly off the fretboard, and the other way around, obviously. So yeah, so just for show you that. So just going to do the other side now, get that flush, mark that up again, so I know where I want it, and get that right. It's a tedious process, but it's worth spending the time to get it right, because the results are going to be much better. I'm having trouble getting it to sit square. It seems to be kind of rocking backwards this way. It's hard for me to show you, and it's moving away from the fretboard. But what I've done is I think I'm going to glue it, but I'm just going to use 2 strings that are running straight, so it's not pulling it from either side, and that should be fine. 2 strings don't seem to be pulling it out of shape. It's just when you tighten the strings, it wants to go like that. This lip here just wants to slip over it. Not sure why. I'm sure somebody will, but anyway, it's slotted in there quite nicely, so I'm going to glue it, put these 2 strings on, and hopefully that'll be fine. Let's crack on with that. Make sure it's clean. Bit there, bit there. Look, come on, come out. There you go. That should be enough. Make sure that's sitting in there where I want it to. Get a couple of strings on it just to make sure it doesn't move around. I'm checking it all the time, make sure it's not pulling, cocking that way. Okay, it's looking good. So okay, I'm going to put the strings on and just quickly check it. That was nuts. Catch you later.